人一觉醒来，发现自己的助理竟然是个家世显赫的富二代。可还没等他回过神来，2辆豪车便缓缓停在了他家门口。随着车门的缓缓打开，一位气质非凡的女性优雅地走了出来，而她正是那个助理的母亲。
Why are you dressed like that?
母亲很不理解儿子的行为，她让儿子下乡跟人谈生意，没想到却在这里给别人当助理。母亲对此感到无比失望，可她做梦都不会想到，眼前的女孩将彻底改变她儿子的一生。尼克是金石铸就的富二代，也是人尽皆知的大浪子，整天虚度光阴，无所事处。直到这天，母亲再也无法忍受儿子的放荡不羁，为了让儿子迷途知返，她让尼克下乡去收购一块土地，并且叮嘱这项任务并不简单，因为这是公司一直没能拿下的项目。她想让尼克用行动来证明自己。就这样，尼克踏上了前往乡村的路途。可就在他即将抵达目的地时，一个小小的意外却打乱了他的步伐。
Shit. My apologies, sir. These roads could use some work.
因为衣服被咖啡弄脏，他换上了随行管家儿子的 T 恤。如此简单朴素的衣物与他平时形成了鲜明的对比，但也让他感到了一种前所未有的自在。于是他选择徒步前往。可当他抵达目的地时，却被眼前的一幕惊呆了。一个女人正在为母牛接生。尼克见状连忙上前帮忙，可女孩却把他误认成前来应聘的助手，自然而然地指派他去协助姐姐。本想解释，但紧迫的情形却未给他留下任何插话的机会。最终在2人的共同努力下，小牛终于顺利降生。
How do you know for a second there I thought you were the suit?
What?
Some hoity-toity company man supposed to come by later today and wave some money in my face.
Is that so?
Yeah, but ready to welcome him now.
看着墙上挂着的猎枪，再看向女孩强势的态度，尼克放弃了透露真实身份的念头，决定以助手的身份暂时安顿下来，然后再找机会拿下这个项目。接着他拨通了管家的电话，吩咐他在镇上暂住几日，并让他搞定艾拉真正应聘的助手。而颇具戏剧性的是，那位真正的助手此刻正坐在他的身旁。
Excuse me. You wouldn't happen to be a ranch hand, would you?
You psychic?
在另一边，尼克拿着艾拉给他的任务清单，看着上面一行行任务，尼克陷入了迷茫。在万般无奈之下，他只得再次花费重金聘请牧场助手进行远程指导。就这样，一个习惯了锦衣玉食的富二代开始了他的乡村劳作生涯，扫牛粪、砍伐柴火、汲取牛奶，直到夕阳西下，他才迎来了休憩的时间。但紧接着，艾拉的出现打破了这份宁静。
I need you to come with me, please.
Okay.
Just need the ladder to get the feedbacks, please.
Sure thing. Sorry.
简单的小插曲过后，艾拉就开始指责尼克的工作。
The feed bins for the cows were empty, meaning they haven't eaten today.
Yeah, but that wasn't on my list.
Okay, well, neither is take a shower, but good hygiene is still expected on this ranch.
尽管尼克很想反驳，但考虑到自己当前的处境，他还是选择沉默接受。艾拉也不想过多追究，因为他还要前往酒吧做兼职。
When do you sleep?
Sleep is overrated.
Do you really enjoy that? Like, waking up super early, going to bed super late? Is that fun for you?
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Oh, don't.
尼克原打算与艾拉进一步沟通，以此为他的收购计划做铺垫，可艾拉却以强硬的态度结束了这个话题。而面对这样的局面，尼克只好另想办法。深夜时分，尼克换上了一身牛仔装束，踏入了艾拉工作的酒吧。可刚进门，他就目睹了一名男子正在骚扰艾拉。
Let go.
She said let go. What are you gonna do about it? I've always wanted to do this.
接着2人就扭打在一起，但身为富二代，他显然不是小混混的对手。眼见尼克落入下风，艾拉果断出手制止。
Knock this shit off right now unless you both want a piece of this. Both of you, out!
虽然尼克的英雄救美并未得到艾拉的感激，但这一举动无疑在艾拉心中留下了深刻的印象。第二天，艾拉与家人共享下午茶的温馨时光，尼克则在旁边默默刷着围栏。然而在阳光的映衬下，艾拉突然发现眼前的这个牧场助理竟有着一丝帅气。接着，尼克来到仓库整理维修工具，而艾拉则罕见地为他送来了果汁。
Oh, it's good.
Last night at the bar, I shouldn't have got so upset. I know you were just trying to help. Does it hurt?
No. Looks worse than it is.
紧接着，尼克在仓库发现了一辆摩托车，这让他一下子来了兴趣。
It was my dad's. Yeah, he died 3 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My dad passed away when I was young. I wish I could say it gets easier. But I guess you get used to it.
Yeah.
在这一刻，两人的内心激起了一份共鸣，而那份共鸣转而又化作了一颗情感种子，在彼此的心中开始生根发芽。而生活在同一屋檐下，两人的见面变得频繁，伴随着相处与交际的增多，尼克也获得了与他们共进午餐的机会。母亲也敏锐地察觉到了女儿的变化，她衷心地向尼克表达了谢意，因为自从艾拉的父亲离世后，艾拉也很久没有如此开心了。同时，母亲怀着一份期待，恳求尼克明年能继续留在这里工作。然而面对这一请求，尼克却显得犹豫不决，无奈母亲只好说出艾拉的往事。3年前，因为一场突如其来的车祸，不光夺走了艾拉父亲的生命，同时也让母亲患上了重病，而治疗所需的费用远远超出了他们的经济能力。为了支付这笔费用，艾拉不得不夜以继日的工作。在了解到艾拉的遭遇后，尼克心中充满了深深的同情。他一直知道艾拉是个坚强独立的女人，却没想到在这份坚强的背后，竟隐藏着如此巨大的压力和苦楚。接着，尼克找到管家寻求帮助，可管家却让他尽快解决此事，没必要一直浪费时间。农场的助理也持有相同的看法，认为应该尽快向艾拉坦白一切，以免事情变得更加复杂。但尼克的内心却充满了矛盾，因为他已经对艾拉产生了深厚的感情。正当尼克在坦白与隐瞒之间挣扎时，艾拉却主动带他来到了一个特别的地方，这里曾是艾拉父亲的梦想之地。父亲曾想将这里改造成一个葡萄庄园，以此来解决牧场的危机。然而车祸的悲剧却让这一计划被搁置。随后，艾拉就向尼克坦白了一切。
We've been drowning in debt for months, and I don't see a way out. Can't tell you how helpless I feel. Some big city company wants to buy this land for a shipping facility.
Yeah, but you could take that money and buy an even better ranch, you know?
可艾拉却对这片土地依依不舍，这里不仅承载着他所有的记忆，更是他唯一能够缅怀父亲的地方。尼克虽然极不情愿伤害艾拉，但他却很清楚，只有向艾拉坦白一切，才能弥补心中的愧疚。于是他鼓起勇气找到艾拉，并打算提高报价以作补偿。然而，当尼克凝视着艾拉那纯真的笑容时，他还是收回了拿合同的手。
You have something on your nose.
这一刻，尼克再也无法抑制内心的情感，情不自禁地向艾拉献上了深情的吻。艾拉并未抗拒，而是选择沉醉在这温柔的瞬间。正当两人即将迈入新的阶段时，艾拉的妹妹突然出现，说母亲的病情开始恶化。尼克立刻采取行动，将艾拉的母亲抱入车内，目送着母女俩离去的背影。尼克心中明白，这个家庭已经无法承受更多的波折。虽然艾拉的母亲成功脱离了危险，但这次治疗的高额费用却让这个原本就不富裕的家庭陷入了更深的困境。于是母亲选择放弃治疗。
I can't imagine life without you in it. Oh, baby. Hey. You have to deal. You have to deal with what is Kelly. Let's go home. I want to go home.
在这个纷繁复杂的世界中，我们无法逆转那些已成定局的事实，但我们可以勇敢地接受它们，以坚定的步伐继续前行。而母亲的决定，或许是对女儿最深沉的爱与教诲。而另一边，尼克的母亲打来了电话，但却被尼克果断挂掉了，然后又撕毁了那份收购合同。但母亲却察觉到了异常，她很快联系到了管家，并告知自己将于明天亲自前往牧场。察觉到事情的严重性，管家急忙前往酒吧寻找尼克，却未能找到他的踪迹。
Miss Anderson? Yes, no, Joseph is back at the ranch. Everything's under control.
小混混偶然听到了管家的谈话，出于好奇，他上网搜索了管家提到的那位女士，却发现她竟是一位身价100亿的董事长。而浑然不知风波的两人正躺在草坪上，分享着彼此的心事。在夜色的朦胧下，艾拉的情感终于爆发，她突然吻向了尼克。就这样，两人在草地上共度了一个难忘的夜晚。然而第二天清晨，艾拉就收到了小混混发来的消息，上面赫然显示着尼克的真实身份。紧接着，2辆豪车停在了艾拉家门口，车门缓缓打开，尼克的母亲以超强的气质走了出来。得知这一切的尼克连忙上来迎接母亲。
Why are you dressed like that?
You can't take away their home.
Well, you couldn't apparently, but rest assured, I can.
To get them to bow down to you. All right, they've shown me that this past week. This isn't just some piece of land to them. They have a connection to this place and they'll never understand.
You've been lying to me the whole time.
That's what this is? You've been living on the ranch all this time, playing house with the farmer's daughter? You're a mess, Joseph.
I don't care what you think I am. I'm not going to let you do this.
You can't stop me. This is the running total of the cost for your mother's past medical care. It is quite large, and it has gone to collection. We are going to increase our offer for your property by the amount on that paper.
尽管艾拉坚定地表示自己可以解决，但母亲却很理智。她深知这些年牧场的经营一直不尽人意，如今摆在他们面前的唯有2条道路可选：要么接受眼前这个出价，要么就等着银行来没收这块地产。尽管母亲已经做出了妥协，但艾拉却依然犹豫不决。她没有立刻在合同上签字，而是让尼克的母亲给她一些考虑的时间。
You have 24 hours, dear. This is the best choice and you know it. Don't let your pride get in the way of a smart decision. I'll see you at the door.
说完，便毫不客气地送走了尼克的母亲，接着就生气地找到尼克，质问他为何要欺骗自己。尽管尼克极力解释，但他的欺骗却已成事实。
Look, I can fix this. I don't
need a knight in shining armor to rescue me. Get the hell off my property.
最终，艾拉也对尼克下达了驱逐令。可在尼克收拾行李准备离开时，管家无意中发现了他包里的一瓶葡萄酒。牧场的助理好奇地尝了一口，立刻被这美酒的醇厚所震撼。作为一个酒鬼，他立刻意识到这瓶葡萄酒的非凡之处。当得知这瓶葡萄酒正是出自艾拉的农场时，众人的心中顿时萌生了一个绝妙的计划。他们将这瓶葡萄酒送去鉴定。
There it is. There it is. Yes.
趁着夜黑风高，尼克悄悄返回了艾拉的牧场。
Dad was right. These grapes, the wine, they can help save your ranch. Now I know a guy, and he can come out here, he can sample the wine, and he'll tell you what the grapes are worth.
There it is. The knight in shining armor coming back to save the day after all.
Exactly. I told him the grapes were well taken care of.
在尼克耐心而细腻的开导下，艾拉选择放下心中的负担，与尼克携手为葡萄园增添光彩。第二天，酒庄的代表亲临现场。他首先对葡萄藤进行了细致的考察，随后又步入牧场的酒窖，品尝了那里珍藏的佳酿，酒香四溢，令人沉醉，惊人沉醉。酒庄代表当即向艾拉发出了租借的邀请。他提出的报价不仅能够帮助牧场渡过难关，还能在每年葡萄酒销售的利润中让艾拉获得一份分成。这不仅解决了农场的经济问题，更为艾拉带来了持续的收入来源。一切安排妥当后，尼克拨通了母亲的电话，为自己可能给公司带来的损失深表歉意。他本以为会遭到母亲的严厉斥责，然而出乎他意料的是，母亲并未生气，反而对他的成长感到欣慰。母亲的初衷是希望看到儿子的成熟与进步，而尼克在农场的这段经历无疑是他人生中一次重要的成长。这证明了母亲让他来到乡下的决定是正确的。圣诞节那天，艾拉被母亲和妹妹带到了一个仓库，当门缓缓打开，艾拉被眼前的景象深深震撼。原来这一切都是尼克精心策划的杰作。他为之前的隐瞒和欺骗向艾拉道歉，同时表达了自己在农场这些日子的深刻感受。
Listen, Kelly, I want you to know the entire time it was the absolute worst. I was cold, I was tired, and I smelled like a cow's ass the entire time.
Yeah, I remember that part.
It was the best time of my life. And I'd give anything to go back to that.
Oh, your position's been filled. But I might be able to figure out something.
I don't need a place to sleep.
I think I can swing that.
在这个充满温情和奇迹的节日里，艾拉和尼克的心更加紧密地联系在了一起，而他们的故事就像葡萄酒一样，经过时间的沉淀，变得更加醇厚和珍贵。